gosh, Maggie is barking in there.
Welcome to the Lovestead.
That's lemon balm. That's a cayenne pepper. Tomato. Oregano. Tomato. Tomato. Sun tea. Hello, it is Wednesday, July 15th. Well, technically July 16th because it's like 12:15 a.m. Y'all know I'm a night owl. I have some decaf coffee out of my Penelope Douglas mug from when I actually got to meet Penelope Douglas last year. That was such a fun little road trip. Anyway, how y'all doing? It's been a minute. I took like a 2.5 month hiatus from BookTube because I started law school and I needed to figure out what my new routine was going to kind of look like with this additional like responsibility in my life. And so I had to do some thinking about how I wanted to approach BookTube. And I took a lot of different things into consideration. So I first started to think about what makes BookTube kind of a mental load for me in a way that might not be doable now that I have this extra mental load of law school. I'm not sure if you knew this, but law school is quite the mental load. And it's going very well so far, and I absolutely am obsessed, and I love it, and I love my courses, and I love my professors. But it has meant that I've needed to make some other adjustments, primarily in BookTube and how I approach BookTube. So to reduce the cognitive load of BookTube, I realized that one of the things that makes me have to like hold a lot of information in my head is approaching BookTube in the traditional BookTube way, where you do your TBR, your wrap-up, your vlogs, your themed videos. I find that doing things that way means I have to hold so much information in my head from one video to the next. When I do my wrap-ups, I either have to take notes about the books that I read throughout the month, or I have to hold that information in my head. And a lot of the times I just do that naturally because I read and I retain what I read. But sometimes we'll lose like salient talking points for different books if I don't put a lot of effort into thinking about how I'm doing my videos and how I'm talking about the books. I don't know if this is making any sense, but it just takes a lot of mental effort to do BookTube the way BookTube is traditionally done. So I've done a little bit of trial and error practicing in the past 2.5 months of different types of videos, different types of routines. Also thinking about going back to, again, why do I do BookTube? And I've said this many times before, but I do BookTube because I love connecting with other readers and meeting people and interacting with people, because I think readers are some of the best people in the world, and I just have loved the people that I've met and that I get to interact with. I adore all of my folks that are in the Discord, and I think we just have a great time, and it truly, like, it's just so much fun. Like, it's just such a fun outlet and a fun way to meet people, and I've met some people that I think will be friends for life through BookTube, and that's one of the reasons that I do it. I also do BookTube for memory keeping purposes, because having videos of like Orlando and Cherry and Pie and Elle have been so precious and important to me. Even just like the videos of my garden throughout the years or different projects throughout the years. Weirdly enough, getting to see even just what I look like throughout the years and like watching myself evolve. I don't know, there's something really cool and special about that that I really love. So I've been thinking about how can I make sure that I am doing booktube in a way that reduces that cognitive load and that still allows me to be in the community in the ways that I intend to be in the community, and that brings me joy and makes this a fun endeavor. So what I've decided to do, I don't know that any other booktubers out there are doing it this way, and if there are, please recommend their channel in the comments down below, because I want to watch and get ideas from them. But I realize that's okay. Part of that cognitive load is carrying the information in my head with me all month long, like thinking about planning out the TBR, planning out this and that video, planning out my wrap-ups. Even just the act of putting together the apothecary jar with all the titles of the books to draw out for the MASH game requires like a lot of little time and energy things throughout the month, right? So that was something I wanted to reduce, was that cognitive load. The other thing that I find less enjoyable about booktube is the editing. I was a professional photographer for a while, and even as a professional photographer, editing was my least favorite part. Like, I don't hate it. It's not like torture. And sometimes it can be fun because it does allow you to be a little creative. But a lot of times I find it tedious. So the videos that I've been doing up to this point have been not heavily edited, but they've been edited in a way that, I don't know, in a way that creates like some consistency. Like, I use the same background music for all my wrap-up videos. I use the same, editing style for this, that, and the other. But to make booktube sustainable for me right now, I need to not edit as much. So I think that you're probably going to get less polished check-ins from me when I post. And it's going to be, I think just less polished will be the best way to explain it. Like, there's still going to be consistency in the style and whatever, just less polished. I don't think I'll ever be like a professional YouTuber. So personally, I'm fine with that. And a lot of times when I'm watching YouTube videos, I enjoy a video that's less polished just because it feels relatable. I don't know. That all being said, what I have decided to do is actually, and it's going to sound counterintuitive, but I think it's going to make life a lot easier, daily posting. I know you're like, how the heck is daily posting going to help you with time management? So daily posting is going to reduce the cognitive load because I don't have to remember what I read 10 days ago. I just have to talk about what I read today. I also don't have to plan too far ahead on this, that, or the other. And I'm going to update you on the Discord and the activities we do there here in just a second. But so daily posting, and there's going to be little vlog moments in my daily videos. So it'll still combine the memory keeping part of why I like being on BookTube. But it's also going to be less heavily edited. So like, it'll probably just be more chatty when I sit down and talk. And who knows where the conversations may go if it's less edited. And I plan to post every day except Saturday. So I'll do a daily post Sunday through Friday where there'll be little vlog pieces in there and a reading, watching, whatever hobbies check-in. I want to still talk about like other hobbies like I do in my regular vlogs. So, you know, that'll still be a component of it. Some days my check-ins will be longer than others. Some days they'll be 3 minutes, other days they'll be 30 minutes, right? It's going to vary because life is variable. And I'm going to be working at least 30 days ahead minimum. Minimum. So when you're watching this, it is probably either August 12th or 19th. Probably 19th. Maybe even the 26th. And I'm filming it here July 15th. So that's the approach. Like I said, I don't know anybody else on BookTube who does things this way. And honestly, because of that, I think my numbers are going to go down because I'm not going to be a convenient watch in the BookTube world. You know what I mean? Like, I love being able to go to a BookTuber's page and be like, oh, their TBR video, what are they reading? I love watching wrap-ups, right? That's not something you're going to get with this channel, at least not for a while. And so I'm prepared for the amount of people who are here to just really go down. And I'm not bothered by that because I feel like I'm not here to go viral. I'm here to just connect with people and be a part of the community and talk about books and hobbies and capture some good memories. Maybe even be helpful to some people in some sort of way by sharing just the day-to-day life. As for Discord activities, those are going to go on. I have chosen Polybius as the July book by Colin Armstrong, a sci-fi about an arcade. It's one that I saw and posted about in one of my new releases videos, and it's just been on my mind for forever. And my friend Cajun actually gifted me the book, so that is the July pick. I am putting on hold the trilogy alongs. I've been doing trilogy alongs on the Discord, and at least while I'm in law school, I'm just going to put those on a temporary hold because I simply can't commit to them. I think in the month of June, I read maybe 2 books with my eyes. So unless a trilogy is on audio, I just cannot commit. So I don't want to do something and then let people down, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to put a temporary hold on the trilogy alongs. But we're still doing the monthly buddy read, and we're still doing the watch alongs. So this month we are watching Dairy Girls, which is a Netflix, and it's a show based in Ireland, in Derry, Ireland in the 90s. I love it so much. It's 3 seasons, I believe. We're doing 1 season a month. I watched the first episode. I'll talk about it as I watch it in the daily check-ins, but the first episode, you know, sets everything up. Anyway, we're not there yet in this video, Jess. We are still just reconnecting and checking in. Okay. ADHD brain reporting for duty. What were we talking about? Oh, Discord. So, quick little recap on the Discord. Still doing the monthly buddy reads, still doing the watch-alongs, still doing the seasonal Cozy 48 readathons. The only thing that's really changed there is I'm putting the trilogy alongs on hold for the time being, but I mean, I'm still in the Discord all the time. I mean, I'm in the Discord every day, so that's still there, that's still happening, that's still going on. And I think that updates you on how I'm planning to move forward in this space. So, what am I currently reading? On audio, I am reading Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. It's nonfiction, and it's her memoir about being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. very, very difficult read. Very difficult material in this book. The people who trafficked those girls are just the scum of the earth. And it's absolutely horrifying what happened to them. Don't read this if you're at all sensitive to sexual violence or child abuse, incest. I mean, it's awful. Awful what happens to these girls and women. And I know that boys and men were also trafficked, though there hasn't been one mentioned yet. I'm about 80% of the way through this book. And honestly, it's inspiring me in my law school journey. It's giving me motivation to do really, really well in law school. Man, it's just, if you can handle reading it, read it. I think it's important that we bear witness to what has happened. But if you're at all sensitive, do not pick this book up. She goes into really graphic detail. So, yeah. Interestingly, one of the books that I'm reading with my eyes, it's really, really slow going, is The 90s by Chuck Klosterman. I don't know much about Chuck Klosterman. If anybody knows more about him, I tried to look him up, but there's just really not a lot about him. He's published other nonfiction books. Some of them are Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs, But What If We're Wrong, Killing Yourself to Live. He's published a couple novels. But he's written this book on the 90s where, I'll just read you part of the description. It says, it's a wise and funny reckoning with the decade that gave us slacker grunge irony about the sin of trying too hard during the greatest shift in human consciousness of any decade in American history. So, beyond epiphenomena, that's a new word. Epiphenomena. Oh, epiphenomena. Beyond epiphenomena. I'm going to have to put that word in the Discord. We have a vocabulary thread in the Discord. Epiphenomena. Like Cop Killer and Titanic and Zima, there were wholesale shifts in how society was perceived in the 90s. The rise of the internet, pre-9/11 politics, and the paradoxical belief that nothing was more humiliating than undisguised ambition. Pop culture accelerated without the aid of a machine that remembered everything, generating an odd comfort in never being certain about anything. On a 1990s Thursday night, more people watched any random episode of Seinfeld than the finale of Game of Thrones, but nobody thought that was important. If you missed it, you simply missed it. This was the last era that held to the idea of an objective, hegemonic mainstream before everything began to fracture, whether you found a home in it or defined yourself against it. In the 90s, Chuck Klosterman makes a home in all of it. The films, the music, the sports, the TV, the politics, the changes regarding race, class, sexuality, the yin-yang of Oprah and Alan Greenspan. And perhaps no other book ever written would a sentence like, the video for Smells Like Teen Spirit was not more consequential than the reunification of Germany make complete sense. Chuck Klosterman has written a multi-dimensional masterpiece, a work of synthesis so smart and delightful that future historians might well refer to this entire period as Klostermanian. Whoa. Whoa. That is some high praise. Did Chuck Klosterman write that? Wow. Okay. I'm only 10 pages in, and it is really interesting. And It's so... Okay, reading this in conjunction with Virginia Giuffre's book, knowing what Klosterman's talking about with the 90s, and knowing that at the same time this trafficking ring was happening, as all the stuff that he's talking about in here. I don't know. It's quite the reading experience right now. And I'll probably have more to say as I get more into it. The other book that I'm reading with my eyes is Frostheart Escape to Aurora by Jamie Littler. This is book 2 in the Frostheart trilogy, and it's about Ash. He is a song weaver. The universe is like this frozen tundra, and so Ash and his Yeti guardian leave to go on this trip to try to find Ash's parents, who are explorers who went missing. And so they join this ship called the Frostheart and have a lot of adventures. And this picks up right where book 1 left off. I'm trying to see if I can read any of the description without it being spoilery. That's spoilery. So Ash is on his way to find a certain stronghold, which is like a settlement, in the search of clues that will lead him to his lost parents. But when his song-weaving powers stir up trouble, the crew of the Frostheart have to make a break for freedom. And after a vicious wraith attack leaves them stranded on the open ice, Ash and his friends must set out on a dangerous journey to find safety, one that leads to an even more incredible secret. I'm enjoying this. I am 151 pages in. I have a quote for you. This is Tobu speaking on page 46. He says, "Patience, boy. It is better to take one's time and do something right than to rush headlong into careless mistakes." Maybe I'll put that quote in the Discord too. I've got Discord homework to do. The emoji for today is a telephone.